Hi, this is Trey Passer, and this is my movie review of The Tree of Life. I can see that real good. Okay, this is a movie that was written and directed by Terrence Malick, filmmaker. I haven't seen much. I think this is actually the first film that he's done that I've seen. I do have Thin Red Line, which I believe he did also, but I haven't watched it yet. Anyway, this is the story basically about a grown man played by Sean Penn. He looks back on his life growing up in Texas, with his two brothers, and he grew up with a stern father played by Brad Pitt, and his mother Jessica Chastain, I think that's her name. She plays his mother. So, like I said, his father's a stern disciplinarian, and his mother's more of a free spirit, and it basically shows the conflict, between, there's no real narrative structure in this. Like it doesn't. I mean, it shows you, you know, it does go through the birth, of the kids and stuff, but there's no real, you know, story. It kind of goes back and forth between flashbacks that the adult Sean Penn character has to his childhood and stuff, and growing up with his father and his brothers. And they also have a couple of sequences where they show like basically the birth of creation and stuff in this. And this movie is like 139 minutes long. And I watched this today, and let me say I enjoyed the parts, with the little kids. I think the young kid actors were really good, especially the one that played the older Sean Penn's character. I think the character's name was Jack, I believe, or what's his name? I want to make sure I get his name. Yeah, Jack. The older brother character's name was Jack. They showed, I like the scenes where they showed him growing up with his father, and how and Brad Pitt I thought was very good as the firm, steady firm father. And but like I said, they also interspersed it with scenes of creation and stuff, and I think it was supposed to symbolize, I guess, maybe that there exists, Sean Penn, like he was looking back on his life, and was and being conflicted about his father's philosophy, and maybe they show the creation of the universe. They go into great detail. They show you like the creation of the universe actually, and it's a great sequence that they actually show you the birth of the universe basically, and they even show you dinosaurs and stuff. And maybe they're just showing that their Sean Penn's recollection is one small part of the whole big universe. Maybe that's what they were trying to say. Okay, but I heard that there's supposed to be actually a 6-hour cut of this, because I also read that Sean Penn had saw the movie and said that wasn't the movie that he read, because he said he had read the original script, and I guess they shot it, but they said that Terrence Malick shot like 8 hours worth of footage, but he had to cut it down to get it, I think to an hour and excuse me, to 2 hours and like 19 minutes of runtime, and I think there's a lot that they cut out, and I would like to see that cut of the movie. But this cut of the movie is enjoyable. Like I said, it's not for everyone, I don't think, because there's no real narrative structure. But I do like I said, I love the parts, the parts with the kids, the little kids, and Brad Pitt. And then, like I said, they show brief flashes of Sean Penn as an adult, his character as an adult, but they don't really doesn't really explain how he's feeling. I mean, he does voiceovers. His character, Sean Penn, does like a voiceover, but you never really get the sense, because like I said, I think they cut out a large part of it, and I think that's what his complaint was. They cut out a large part of that would explain, and they said there are also large parts of their their growing up in Texas that got cut from the movie that would probably explain it better. But visually, this is a beautiful looking movie. I mean, it's, like I said, the creation sequences are absolutely breathtaking, and like I said, Brad Pitt, I think, is fantastic in this movie as the stern father who has this great love of music and stuff, and he's trying to raise his family the best way that he can. And then, like I say, he has to be firm with his kids. And like I said, his mother, played by Jessica Chastain, is more carefree and stuff, and she likes the boys to play and everything else, and likes to play with them. And it's Tree of Life. Like I said, would I recommend this? I would say yes, but you have to get yourself in the mood to see this. Okay, you can't. I don't think you can randomly pick this up, and you'd have to, you know, get yourself in the mind frame. And like I said, and I think you got to get yourself in the mind frame of seeing. You want to see a movie about a family in conflict, and I would love to see the actual cut. I know they kept saying that there's supposed to be like a 6-hour cut, and maybe they'll release that. Maybe they'll do a Criterion of this one day, and they'll release the full cut, and then that way they'll show more of the adult Jack's character and more of the scenes with the Texas, of his childhood growing up, and would explain a lot, because there's a lot of things that happen in the movie that you don't, I mean, there's no, like I said, there's no real narrative structure. It doesn't go from point A to point B, even though they do show in the beginning when the kids are born, and then they just show them everyday life and different experiences like going to church and everything else and playing in the backyard and everything else. But there's no real story that goes from point A to point B. And then, like I said, they show flashbacks from Sean Penn's character. It's like he's basically reminiscing about his childhood and stuff. And there's some things that happen. But I would definitely say, like I said, you have to be in the mood to see this, because it's like I said, sometimes, like I said, some people can't sit through movies that are like 2 hours, and this movie's like I said, 2 hours and 20 minutes long, and like I said, there's no real narrative structure, and then in between the scenes of the family, they show, like I said, this great sequence of the creation of the universe, and it's absolutely breathtaking. But people may get lost in it, saying, "What the hell is that doing in the middle of the movie?" Okay, but I liked that, and I thought Brad Pitt was especially good. Him and Jessica Chastain, and the young actor who played the young version of Sean Penn's character, Jack. I think he was very good. Okay, like I said, Sean Penn is in it, but I don't really, you can't really get a good sense of his acting, because he's only in a few scenes, in a couple of scenes, and you don't. And I think, like I said, when this movie got edited down, they cut out a lot of his parts out of this. So, but would I recommend it? Yes, it's definitely, like I said, visually it's a beautiful movie, and like I said, Brad Pitt does a great job. Him and Jessica Chastain, like I said, and the young actor that plays Jack, he's very good in this. And I would definitely like to see if they come out with the, I don't know if it's going to be a 4-hour cut or a 6-hour cut. When I was reading up about this movie, they said there's like a 6-hour cut. That Terrence Malick actually shot like 8 hours worth of footage, and the original cut I think was 6 hours, but then they had to cut it down to like 2 hours and like 19 minutes to release it into theaters. Okay, so but like I said, it got nominated for Best Picture. I mean, because like I said, the sequences in his growing up in Texas, with his father, Brad Pitt, and his mother, are very good to me. They're very well acted, but like I said, it doesn't go from point A to point B. It's just basically a few scenes of things happening to them with their everyday life and stuff, and it doesn't, go. Usually stuff goes from point A to point B, and then a conclusion. Okay, but I will say I like that there's a scene at the end, without giving it away, with a lot of the characters on the beach, which I thought was very beautifully shot, and you really feel an emotion with this. You feel it's really emotional scene towards the end of the movie. I really like that part. Okay, so that's my review of The Tree of Life. Let me know if you've seen the movie and what you think of it. Okay, and would you be willing to see the full, actual 6-hour cut of this movie? Okay, let me know. Feel free to leave your comments down below. And I also want to say, Hurricane Sandy went through New York. I live in New York, and I came through it okay for the most part. And I pray for everybody else that, the people that passed on, and hope everybody else that doesn't have power and are currently in shelters, hope they get home safe, and hopefully in the next few days the city will get back to normal. And thank God that many more people didn't die. Okay, and so this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.